Hi, I'm Lloyd Armbrust, founder and CEO of Own Local, and this is Broadsheet, the business of news. Even though failure is okay, when we start a new project, we have to be going for success. And there's a lot to be learned about how startups build products and iterate on problems. Tim McDougall and Chris Edwards talk about how they implemented a program that taught this at the Cedar Rapids Gazette in Iowa.
I'm Chris Edwards. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the Gazette Company, which is comprised of a number of legacy brands as well as our digital advertising agency, FusionFarm.
We've also taken some of the lessons that we've learned working in that environment, in the startup environment, and brought them back here. So a year and a half ago, we had something called e-commerce camp. And the goal behind that was to say, we think as a group at FusionFarm, we need to increase our acumen on e-commerce. It's not as strong as it should be, and we also need to learn to work better cross-functionally, which good startups and good, very agile teams do.
We created an environment where we didn't really know a whole lot about e-commerce, but we knew that long-term, we think that e-commerce is going to be the thing that really displaces advertising. Is probably our largest revenue driver, and it may not be next year, but it's probably going to be in the next decade. We figured we needed to learn from that. And so we challenged all of our employees to create little e-commerce businesses.
And we were also at the time merging a lot of groups that hadn't really worked together before at the same time. And so we offered anybody on a volunteer basis who wanted to join could join e-commerce camp. They would form teams, and we'd give them up to $5,000 to start a small e-commerce website, sell a real product. If they blew all the money and didn't make anything, that was fine. That was a great expense for their education, as long as they learned. And if they did make money, we'd split that with them, if they actually could make a profit on it. To do that, though, they had to come to a weekly class every Friday at 1 o'clock. We had a weekly class that said, here's another aspect of e-commerce. And they had to go through that and learn the process of doing it. So it was a combination of educating them on e-commerce, educating them how to act better as a cross-functional team, and to know each other better and to respect what everybody else here does, because there's a wide range of skills we have here. And also to get them to think like a startup would think as well, and to think more creatively, where it's here's just not the assignment, here's the ad you need to produce today, but go figure out a category, go figure out a niche, go create a brand, go create an e-commerce website, go figure out how to connect it to a credit card verifier. Go figure out shipping. All those things, having to go through that whole exercise made the team a lot smarter. We had 40 plus people participate in that.
And we had a couple of employees that were actually on the creative side, came up with an idea to sell coffee online and customize labels for coffee. And they did their own creative, they developed a website, they began putting things together. They also learned a ton about how do you actually market a product beyond just developing something that's aesthetically pleasing. How do you actually take it to market, and what are the tools that you use, and then how do you form a business model? And so those folks did that all on their own.
And so I think they got a healthy appreciation for just how hard good e-commerce can be, but also a lot of confidence that if they went to do it again, they could knock it out of the park.
It wasn't like these businesses are now multi-billion-dollar businesses they developed, but we took an idea that somebody came up with from the front lines and turned it into something that we educated 25 to 30 people on the basics of how e-commerce works, so that as we develop our own products and go to market, and more importantly help our clients, those people already have that experience. So even if they're doing one piece of it, right? So we go out and sell something for somebody and they do one piece of design work, they understand how that design work is going to fit into the tapestry of that e-commerce experience for all of the people there. So it was a great thing that, sort of a grassroots deal that really produced some interesting results.